Legendary duel. Bruce Lee versus a katana master. The katana blade gleamed in the light of the dojo, a piece of forged steel that had belonged to the Yamamoto family for 6 generations. She held it in a perfect Chuden kami stance, the traditional middle guard, with the tip aimed directly at Bruce Lee's throat. Bruce stood 3 meters away, shirtless and unarmed, his open palms in a Wing Chun position. Behind them, 30 karate students watched in absolute silence, witnessing what seemed impossible. A martial artist had accepted the challenge of a sword master, with no weapon in his hands. This is the story of one of the most controversial martial arts demonstrations in Tokyo's history, and the reason why the Japanese Fencing Federation allegedly tried to destroy all footage of the event. But before we continue, consider this. If someone challenged you with a real weapon, confident that steel gave them absolute advantage, would you surrender or find a way to win? Stay until the end, because what happened in those 12 seconds challenged centuries-old samurai traditions. And if you want to know how Bruce Lee disarmed a katana master without even touching the blade, keep watching. Tokyo, Shinjuku, March 8, 1971. The dojo belonged to Master Takashi Yamamoto, a 7th-degree karate instructor who had studied directly under Gichin Funakoshi and ran one of the most respected traditional training halls in Tokyo. His dojo followed old-school rules: no tournaments, no trophies, only serious students seeking true knowledge. Yamamoto invited Bruce Lee to demonstrate Wing Chun and Jeet Kune due to advanced students curious about these Chinese and hybrid systems gaining attention in martial arts circles. Mamoto Kiko was not a regular student. She was a 28-year-old master of Kendo and Aikido, holding a 5th dan in both. She came from a samurai lineage that had served the Tokugawa shogunate before the Meiji Restoration. Her great-grandfather had been a renowned swordsman, and the katana she carried had seen real combat during the Boshin War of 1868. Kiko had trained 6 hours a day since the age of 7. She viewed the rise of foreign martial arts in Japan with skepticism, bordering on hostility. She came specifically to challenge Bruce Lee. During Bruce's demonstration with the wooden dummy and pads, Kiko stood at the back, arms crossed, clearly unimpressed. When he finished and invited questions, she stepped forward before anyone else could speak. "Mr. Lee, I watched your demonstration with interest, and I must say, I am not impressed. These techniques work only against compliant partners and lifeless equipment. Traditional martial arts were created for real combat against armed opponents, not for display. I practice classical Japanese swordsmanship, and I believe your methods would completely fail against someone trained with a real weapon." Her tone was precise and confident, the voice of someone who had never lost. Bruce listened respectfully, then replied in limited but functional Japanese, with Master Yamamoto translating. "I appreciate your perspective. You're right that many modern martial arts have lost practical application. However, effective technique must work whether the opponent is armed or not. The principles remain the same: timing, distance control, biomechanics, and human limitations." Kiko's gaze hardened. Principles are abstraction. Reality is steel. If you truly believe in your methods, will you demonstrate them against a real blade? She pointed to the katana, resting on a stand. "This is my family sword, sharpened for cutting practice. If you defeat me while I wield it, I will admit your methods have value. If not, you should stop teaching techniques that could get your students killed." The dojo fell into dead silence. Everyone understood what she was proposing: a duel between an unarmed fighter and a sword master with a real blade. Master Yamamoto immediately stood to refuse the challenge, but Bruce calmly raised his hand. "I accept, under certain conditions. First, the blade must be real and sharp. No training weapons. Second, you must attack me with genuine intent. Third, we set a time limit of 3 minutes. If I cannot disarm you or force you to surrender, I admit you are right. If I succeed, you acknowledge that effective technique is superior to style and weapons." Kiko nodded sharply. "But understand this, Mr. Lee. I have trained with this sword since childhood. I have cut tatami, bamboo, and suspended targets. My family's art is Tenshin Shoden Katori Shinto-ryu, one of Japan's oldest schools. You are making a serious mistake." She approached the stand, lifted the katana, and slowly drew it. The blade caught the light, revealing a distinct wavy hamon, a mark of traditional Japanese forging. Several students gasped. This was no demonstration weapon. It was a real Shinken. Master Yamamoto pulled Bruce aside urgently. "Lee-san, this is extremely dangerous. She is a true expert. This blade can sever a limb with minimal effort. Even a shallow cut can slice tendons or arteries. Please reconsider." Bruce smiled calmly and placed a hand on his shoulder. "I understand the danger, Yamamoto-sensei, but this is exactly the kind of challenge that proves whether martial arts are practical or just theory. I have trained specifically for weapon defense scenarios. This is the moment to demonstrate it." The duel begins. The students move to the walls, clearing space in the center. Kiko bowed briefly to her sword and took position. Bruce walked to the opposite side, removed his shoes according to dojo etiquette, and stood barefoot on the polished wooden floor. He rolled his shoulders once, took 3 deep breaths, and settled into a relaxed stance, balanced, calm, hands open at chest level. Master Yamamoto stepped forward as referee, though it was clear he hoped to stop the fight before anyone was seriously hurt. He looked at both fighters and prepared to begin. Both participants received a nod from the referee, and he gave the traditional command, "Hajime." "Begin." Kiko moved instantly, stepping forward with soft, practiced footwork. Her sword was in Saigon no Kami, aimed directly at Bruce Lee's eyes, a classic psychological and practical stance that threatens vision while maintaining defense. Bruce moved laterally, circling at the edge of what sword masters call the critical distance, where an attack becomes possible. He studied her movement patterns, subtle weight shifts before strikes, the way her hands gripped the tsuka. Kiko attacked without warning. A downward cut aimed at the top of Bruce's head, executed with flawless form and incredible speed. The blade descended in a perfect arc. Bruce shifted his head just 10 centimeters to the left while stepping toward her instead of away, breaking the instinct to retreat from a blade. The katana sliced through empty space where his head had been. His forward movement placed him inside the sword's effective range, where its length became a disadvantage. His right hand shot out in a Wing Chun Paksaw strike, slapping Kiko's leading wrist at the exact moment the blade completed its arc. This knocked the sword further offline and prevented immediate recovery. At the same time, his left hand controlled her elbow, stopping her from redirecting the blade. The entire sequence took about 2 seconds, but Bruce had already neutralized the weapon temporarily. Kiko reacted instantly. She executed Taisabaki, rotating her body to break free and regain distance. She escaped, but that brief contact gave Bruce critical information about her strength, balance, and reaction speed. They reset. Now Kiko adjusted her assessment. He was faster and more precise than she expected. She attacked again. A thrust tsuki, aimed at the solar plexus. Decades of training made her movements faster than conscious thought. Bruce responded with a tan saw and bong saw combination, deflecting the blade just enough for it to pass his torso, while again closing distance. But Kiko anticipated this. She followed with a diagonal kesa cut powerful enough to split ribs. What happened next became the subject of debate for years. Bruce dropped his entire body about 15 centimeters by compressing his legs. The blade passed over his shoulder by a hair's breadth. Students later said they saw strands of his hair move from the air, displaced by the sword. As the sword's momentum carried Kiko's arm away, Bruce swept her front leg with a Wing Chun technique. Her base collapsed at the exact moment her weight was committed to the strike. She stumbled, but maintained her grip, pivoting to face him again. She was breathing heavier now, frustrated. 2 potentially lethal strikes had missed. Bruce remained calm, focused, no sign of stress. The fight had lasted about 90 seconds. The decisive moment. The next exchange was so fast even experienced martial artists struggled to follow it. Kiko feinted high, then transitioned into a sliding deflection aimed at Bruce's extended arm, intending to cut the tendons. Bruce saw through the feint. He didn't defend the high attack. When the real cut came, he struck, not the blade, but her hands. A finger jab hit pressure points on the back of her hand, with enough force to momentarily weaken her grip. The katana trembled for a split second. That was enough. Bruce's other hand seized her wrist. His body turned, using his hips as leverage, and suddenly Kiko was pulled forward and down by her own force. She had two choices: release the sword or fall face first. Her samurai pride wouldn't let her drop the blade. She fell. Bruce guided the fall with precision, ensuring she landed hard, but safely, face down on the dojo floor. He moved behind her, controlling her sword arm with a joint lock chin-na. The position made it mechanically impossible to hold or move the blade. Pain shot through her wrist. Her grip reflexively opened. The katana hit the wooden floor with a loud clatter. The outcome: Bruce immediately released her, stepped back, and bowed respectfully. The entire fight lasted 2 minutes and 45 seconds, 15 seconds under the agreed limit. Master Yamamoto stood frozen, hand half raised, trying to process what he had just witnessed. Kiko remained on the ground, staring at her empty hand, and the katana lying just 60 centimeters away. Bruce approached the sword, carefully lifted it with both hands, and returned it to her with proper respect, blade facing himself as a sign of non-aggression. Ms. Yamamoto, you are an exceptional swordswoman. Your technique is precise. Your attacks were real. I did not defeat your art. I applied principles that work against any weapon: timing, positioning, and mechanical advantage. Legacy. March 8, 1971. Tokyo. 30 witnesses. Those 2 minutes and 45 seconds changed Kiko's understanding of combat. For the next 3 years, she studied Wing Chun and Jeet Kune Do alongside her traditional sword training. She became a strong advocate of cross-training in Japan, proving that tradition must evolve and be tested. On that day, Bruce Lee did not prove one style superior to another. He showed that the fundamental principles of combat, timing, distance, and mechanics, are more important than any weapon. A katana is a powerful tool, but only as effective as the person using it and the situation they are in.